In a world that constantly urges us to act, to pursue, to chase what we want, the idea of stillness feels almost radical. But stillness is not weakness, it is power in its most profound and silent form. It is the art of stepping back, not in surrender, but in mastery. When you are still, you become a mirror to the world. You reflect not desperation, but calm, not neediness, but presence. This is the paradox of stillness. It appears passive, yet it moves mountains. It seems quiet, yet it speaks volumes. To be still is to recognize that your energy, your attention is sacred, and you will not squander it by chasing after things that are not aligned with your true self. You see, in nature, the most powerful forces are often the quietest. The moon does not chase the tides, yet it moves them. The earth does not demand the sun to rise, yet it does without fail. Stillness is not the absence of action, it is the presence of trust. And trust in yourself, trust in the flow of life, and trust in the unfolding of events as they are meant to be. When you are still, you create a space of vacuum, if you will, that pulls others toward you. People are drawn to what they cannot easily grasp, to what they must work to understand. The one who is still commands attention, while the one who chases demands it. Which of these do you think holds true power? Stillness does not mean doing nothing, it means doing the inner work. It means facing your fears, healing your wounds, and aligning with your purpose. It is about becoming so rooted in your sense of self that you no longer feel the need to seek validation from others. You become the tree whose roots grow deep, unwavering in the storm, while others are blown about like leaves. But let me be clear, stillness is not cold indifference. It is not shutting down your emotions or pretending you do not care. True stillness comes from a place of warmth and self-assurance. It is the quiet confidence of knowing that you are enough just as you are. And when you embody this stillness, something magical happens. The one who once walked away will feel your shift. They will sense that the frantic, grasping energy that once pushed them away is no longer there. In its place is a calm, steady light that draws them in. But whether they return or not is no longer your concern. The gift of stillness is not about outcomes, it is about liberation. Liberation from the endless cycle of trying to control, trying to prove, trying to be something you are not. To be still is to trust that what is meant for you will find you, not because you chased it, but because you became the kind of person who attracts it naturally. So I ask you, can you be still? Can you let go of the need to act, to fix, to force? Can you trust that by simply being who you are already enough? This is the power of stillness. It is not something you do, it is something you become. And in that becoming, you will find everything you were searching for and more. Energy is your most valuable resource, far more precious than time or money, because it shapes the reality you create. Yet how often do we give it away carelessly? In the pursuit of love, validation, or closure, we scatter our energy outward, leaving ourselves depleted. Reclaiming your energy is not an act of selfishness, it is an act of self-respect and self-preservation. To reclaim your energy is to realize that not everyone or everything deserves access to your emotional, mental, or spiritual resources. Think of your energy like a stream of water. If you divert it in too many directions, the flow weakens and the stream dries up. But when you focus that energy inward on your growth, your healing, and your joy, it becomes a powerful river capable of moving mountains. When you allow someone else's actions to dominate your thoughts or emotions, you are giving them free rent in your mind. You are handing over the keys to your peace of mind and saying, "Here, take control." But why? What do they gain from your exhaustion? And more importantly, what do you lose? Reclaiming your energy begins with awareness. Notice where your thoughts go throughout the day. Do they spiral into overthinking about what someone said or didn't say? Do they dwell on what you wish had happened? Every time you linger on these thoughts, you are leaking energy. You are pouring your vitality into a void that gives nothing back. To stop this cycle, you must set boundaries not just with others, but with yourself. When the mind starts to wander into those unproductive loops, gently redirect it. Remind yourself, this is not where my energy belongs. My energy is mine, and I choose to keep it. This isn't about ignoring your feelings, it's about not letting them consume you. And what do you do with this reclaimed energy? You channel it into building the life you want. You focus on your passions, your growth, and the things that make your soul come alive. You start to realize that the energy you were wasting on someone else could be used to create something beautiful for yourself. Reclaiming your energy also means breaking free from the illusion that you can control how others feel about you. Wholeness is not a destination, it is a realization. It is the profound understanding that you are complete as you are, without needing anyone or anything to fill a perceived void. When you radiate wholeness, you become a beacon of light, a source of calm, magnetic energy that draws others toward you without effort. But this radiance begins from within. Many people go through life believing they are incomplete, that their worth hinges on external validation, a partner's love, a friend's approval, or society's recognition. This mindset leads to a constant state of seeking, of grasping, and of giving away pieces of yourself in the hope of feeling whole. But true wholeness cannot be found in others. It is a gift you give yourself. To radiate wholeness, you must first confront the illusions that make you feel broken. These illusions are often rooted in past experiences, unhealed wounds, or societal expectations. They whisper lies that you are not enough, that you need to prove your worth, or that you must conform to be accepted. But these are just stories, and the moment you stop believing them, you begin to reclaim your truth. Imagine a seed planted in the soil. It does not question whether it is worthy of becoming a tree, it simply grows. It takes nourishment from the sun, the rain, and the earth, and it becomes exactly what it was meant to be. You, too, are like that seed. The potential for greatness, for wholeness, has always been within you. It is not something you acquire, it is something you uncover. Radiating wholeness means embracing every part of yourself, the light and the shadow, the victories and the mistakes, the strength and the vulnerability. It is about saying, I am enough even when the world tries to convince you otherwise. It is about loving yourself, not despite your flaws, but because of them, for they are what make you uniquely you. When you step into this wholeness, your energy changes. You no longer seek love out of need, but out of abundance. You no longer cling to people or situations, hoping they will complete you. Instead, you show up as a whole person, and in doing so, you inspire others to do the same. This is where the magic happens. Wholeness is magnetic. It is the quiet confidence that says, I do not need you, but I choose you, and that energy is irresistible. The one who once doubted your worth will feel your transformation. They will see that you are no longer the person who relied on their approval to feel whole. Radiating wholeness also means taking full responsibility for your happiness. It is understanding that no one else is accountable for your joy, your peace, or your sense of purpose. These are things you cultivate within yourself. And as you do, your energy begins to ripple outward, touching everyone around you. But radiating wholeness is not about arrogance or perfection. It is about authenticity. It is about showing up as your true self unapologetically and with love. It is about walking into a room and lighting it up, not because you seek attention, but because your inner light cannot help but shine. And to radiate wholeness is to live in harmony with yourself. It is to know that you are a masterpiece in progress, and that every stroke, every color, every line adds to your beauty. It is to recognize that you are not missing any pieces, and that the love you seek is already within you. So, as you walk this path, remember you are not broken, and you do not need fixing. You are a radiant, whole being, and the world is waiting to bask in your light. Let your wholeness speak for itself, and watch as the people and opportunities meant for you are drawn to your presence like moths to a flame. The desire to control is deeply ingrained in human nature. We want certainty, predictability, and assurance that the outcomes we envision will come to pass. Yet the very act of clinging to control often creates resistance, tension, and frustration. Letting go of control is not about giving up, it is about understanding the limits of your influence and embracing the flow of life with trust and openness. Control arises from fear, the fear of losing what you value or not achieving what you desire. It's a response to the unknown, an attempt to shield yourself from disappointment or pain. But when you try to micromanage life, you end up exhausting yourself. The tighter you grip, the more elusive the object of your control becomes, slipping through your fingers like water. To let go of control, you must first acknowledge what you can and cannot influence. You have power over your thoughts, your actions, and your responses, but you cannot dictate how others feel, what they choose, or the timing of events. Recognizing this distinction is liberating because it frees you from the burden of trying to manipulate outcomes. Letting go does not mean you stop caring or that you abandon effort. It means you release attachment to a specific result. You focus on what you can do, your intentions, your growth, your energy, and then surrender the rest to the unfolding of life. It's an act of faith, not in some external force, but in yourself and the natural order of things. When you cling to control, you operate from a place of scarcity, as if life won't provide for you unless you force its hand. This mindset creates anxiety and blocks the flow of opportunities. Letting go allows you to move from scarcity to abundance. It opens the door for possibilities you couldn't have planned, surprises that exceed your expectations, and solutions that arise effortlessly. Control often disguises itself as responsibility. You tell yourself that if you don't take charge, everything will fall apart. But this belief is rooted in ego, the idea that you alone must orchestrate every detail. Letting go is an act of humility. It's admitting that you don't have all the answers and that sometimes the best thing you can do is step back and allow life to unfold. To let go of control is also to embrace the present moment. Control thrives on projections into the future, what might happen, what could go wrong, what you need to secure. But when you focus on the now, you realize that most of your fears and worries are not rooted in reality but in imagined scenarios. Letting go brings you back to the here and now, where peace resides. Letting go requires trust in yourself, trust in the people you care about, and trust in the process of life itself. This trust is not blind or naive, it is grounded in the understanding that life has its own rhythm and timing, and that forcing things rarely leads to fulfillment. It's about stepping into the flow rather than swimming against the current, and realizing that even the challenges you face are part of a greater plan. When you let go of control, you create space for growth and transformation. You stop limiting yourself with rigid expectations and allow the infinite possibilities of life to unfold. Control is a prison of your own making. Letting go is the key to freedom. It allows you to move with grace, to adapt, and to find joy in the unexpected twists and turns of your journey. To celebrate yourself is to honor the essence of who you are, not the person you strive to be, nor the version of yourself that others want you to be, but the real, raw, unfiltered you. It is a recognition of your worth that does not depend on accomplishments, external validation, or comparisons to others. It is a quiet but profound acknowledgement that simply existing as you are is a triumph in itself. Far too often we wait for milestones or applause from others to feel deserving of celebration. We tie our sense of value to promotions, relationships, or societal markers of success. But what if you decided that your worth was not contingent on these things? What if you celebrated yourself for the courage it takes to wake up every day and try, for the resilience you show in facing life's challenges, and for the unique light you bring to the world? Celebrating yourself does not mean arrogance or self-absorption. It means appreciating the journey you are on and the person you are becoming. It is about recognizing the battles you have fought, some of which no one else even knows about, and honoring the strength it took to overcome them. It's about looking in the mirror and seeing not flaws, but a masterpiece in progress, beautiful in its imperfection. Self-celebration is an act of rebellion in a culture that often profits from making you feel inadequate. The world constantly tells you that you need to be thinner, smarter, richer, or more successful to be worthy of happiness. But when you celebrate yourself, you reject these narratives. You say, I am enough, just as I am, and I choose to love and honor myself regardless of the noise around me. To celebrate yourself is also to give yourself permission to pause and appreciate your life. In the pursuit of goals and dreams, it is easy to overlook the small victories, those quiet moments of growth, the times you chose kindness over anger, or the days you showed up even when it was hard. These moments are worthy of acknowledgement, for they are the building blocks of a life well lived. This celebration is not always loud or extravagant. It doesn't require a party or an audience. It can be as simple as taking time for yourself, treating yourself to something you love, or speaking kindly to yourself when self-doubt creeps in. It's about creating moments of joy and gratitude for the person you are and the path you are walking. Celebrating yourself also means embracing your individuality. There is no one else on this planet who sees the world exactly as you do, who dreams your dreams, or who has walked your path. This uniqueness is your gift to the world, and it deserves to be honored. To celebrate yourself is to own your quirks, your passions, and even your mistakes, knowing that they are all part of what makes you you. When you celebrate yourself, you shift your focus from what you lack to what you already have. You begin to see the abundance within you, your talents, your compassion, your ability to grow and learn. This shift in perspective can be transformative, as it allows you to move through life with a sense of pride and gratitude rather than longing or regret. Celebrating yourself is also a practice of self-love in action. It means setting boundaries that protect your peace, saying no to what doesn't serve you, and saying yes to what lights you up. It's about prioritizing your well-being without guilt or apology, and recognizing that your happiness matters just as much as anyone else's. Accepting the flow of life is a practice of surrendering to the natural rhythm of existence. It is about releasing the tight grip of control and embracing the unpredictable, often mysterious unfolding of events. To accept the flow is not to passively drift, but to align yourself with the current, trusting that it will carry you to where you are meant to be. Life is not a straight line, but a river, winding and curving, sometimes calm and other times turbulent. When you resist the flow, when you struggle to swim upstream, you exhaust yourself against forces far greater than you. This resistance often stems from a need for certainty, a desire to dictate every twist and turn of your path. but the truth is, much of life is beyond your control. To accept the flow is to find peace within this truth. Accepting the flow begins with letting go of expectations. It means allowing things to be as they are rather than constantly trying to mold them into what you think they should be. Expectations are a form of resistance. They create tension between reality and the fantasy of what you hoped for. When you release these expectations, you free yourself to experience life as it is, not as you imagined it should be. At its core, accepting the flow is an act of trust in yourself, trust in the people around you, and trust in the larger forces that shape our lives. This trust is not blind faith or complacency, but a recognition that the universe operates in its own time and wisdom. The challenges you face, the detours you encounter, and even the losses you endure all serve a purpose in the greater tapestry of your journey. Acceptance does not mean you stop striving or caring. It means you stop fighting against what is. It's the difference between reacting to life with resistance and responding to it with grace. When you accept the flow, you learn to adapt, to bend like a tree in the wind, rather than snapping under pressure. This adaptability allows you to move through life with resilience and ease, even in the face of uncertainty. And to accept the flow is to cultivate patience. It is recognizing that not everything needs to happen on your timeline. There are seasons to life, times for growth, times for rest, and times for transformation. Just as the river does not rush to reach the ocean, you must allow yourself the time to grow into each phase of your journey. This patience nurtures a sense of calm and keeps you grounded even when the waters feel rough. Accepting the flow also requires self-awareness. It is about tuning into your intuition, noticing when you are forcing something that isn't meant for you, and being brave enough to let go. It's understanding that life's doors don't always open the way you want them to, but that doesn't mean they're closed forever. Sometimes the flow is guiding you to something better, something you couldn't have seen while clinging to the shore. There is a profound freedom in accepting the flow. You stop carrying the heavy burden of what if and why not, and instead focus on the present moment. You begin to trust that even the detours and challenges are part of your growth, teaching you lessons and building your strength. This freedom allows you to embrace the unexpected with curiosity rather than fear. When you accept the flow, you align yourself with the natural order of life. You stop resisting the tides of change and start moving with them, finding beauty in the chaos and harmony in the unknown. This alignment doesn't mean life becomes easy, but it does become lighter because you are no longer at war with reality. Instead, you become a part of it, a participant in the ever-changing, ever-flowing rhythm of existence. Each of these principles, being the stillness, reclaiming your energy, radiating wholeness, letting go of control, celebrating yourself, and accepting the flow, forms a tapestry of inner strength and freedom. Together they remind us that the power we often seek outwardly is already within us. Life's greatest transformations occur not through force or resistance, but through alignment with our true nature and the rhythms of existence. When you embrace stillness, you become unshakable. When you reclaim your energy, you prioritize your peace. When you radiate wholeness, you honor the beauty of your being. When you let go of control, you free yourself from unnecessary burdens. When you celebrate yourself, you recognize your own worth. And when you accept the flow, you step into harmony with life itself. These practices are not about perfection, they are about presence. They are an invitation to trust in your inherent value, to move through life with grace, and to cultivate a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. By embodying these truths, you create a life that doesn't merely exist, it thrives, vibrates, and inspires.